there, fans. We are en route to our good friend Fred and Jody's house in Northport, Florida. Paradise for me. It's a beautiful day here in Florida. It's about 60 degrees and not a cloud in the sky. And we have made maybe the deal of the century. In my travels, in Fred's travels, a gentleman reached out to Fred through a club association looking for a set of seats, specifically 73 and newer seats with the headrest. And I just happened to have an extra pair because we took the pair out of my red car and I replaced them with high back seats. And in the process of talking to this gentleman from North Carolina, he just happened to have an overdrive transmission. So we struck a deal on a trade. Yes, that's right, a trade for a pair of 73 Triumph TR6 seats for an overdrive transmission. So we are now in possession of that overdrive transmission. I'm on my way to Fred and Jody's, and we are going to find out whether this trade was a good trade or not. So let's see what happens. Well, here we are, friends. Here's our first take on the new to us overdrive transmission. This is an A-type transmission. Probably came out of either a TR3 or TR4. And Fred's getting an opportunity to look at it for the very, very first time. We're going to put it up on the bench. And it does spin freely, but we're going to have to make some evaluations. So we'll see where this takes us. All right, so Mr. Fred, you've taken the first look here. I see you have the carrier bearing out. What are you finding so far? What is this out of?
This transmission's out of an early 4. It has no switch for reverse.
Right.
So we know it's a TR4 trans. And this throwout bearing sleeve is the old brass coming out. It's kind of hard to tell right now because it's all greasy.
Greasy, yeah.
This is a throwout bearing from an early 4, and it's junk, but nevertheless, that would get replaced anyway.
Right.
So
now it does spin freely. How free it's supposed to spin, I'm not sure. I did notice it's a little rusty on the inside of there.
yeah, this
So that needs to
arm.
be, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you would replace the bushings in this arm. You could go ahead and clean it up and everything, but quite frankly, you could buy a new one cheap enough. So a new one cheap enough and a couple bushings here,
Right.
where it protrudes through.
Yes.
And then you got it.
Got it.
No problem.
So Fred, what are you doing?
Well, Bobby is fortunate to have acquired an overdrive transmission from a TR4 and A-type, which is rare to be able to get one. And so what we're doing is now we're going to open her up and have a look, see how bad it is inside. And
So Fred, what are you looking for? What signs are you looking for when you open this up? Whether it's dry, if there's any
general condition of the gears, and it feels pretty good. Feels pretty good to turn it, but the thing we'll do is you
can see here we went in and got the solenoid off.
solenoid's off. It looks like it has had repair in the past. This has been broken off for some reason.
Yeah, you can see right there real clearly. You can see the
But the solenoid was froze, but our arm is working good, so that feels good.
Okay, good.
And we are spinning.
Right.
So we'll just see what we have for oil in here, and
Okay.
typically what we'll do is we'll drain it from this point right here.
Okay. Yep.
That'll drain this case, and then over here, it looks like it's had service. This is also where your spring is, right in here.
Right.
So we'll get to that.
Very.
For now, we'll just open her up.
Very exciting. So Fred, what are we doing here now? I'm turning this for you. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for chipped teeth or anything that looks out of the ordinary, not correct.
Okay. So for those of you at home that have never seen the internal mechanisms on a transmission, here you go. It does have enough grease in it to at least, it's got some lube to it.
Yeah, but it's not in a bath of oil right now. It's
correct.
It's been dry for a while.
Right.
But it still has a little bit on the gears. I don't see anything.
So
right now,
if somebody was storing something like this, they would want to have that bath on the bottom, correct?
Sure. Well, you've got an oil fill, and this is a level.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So that's your drain and refill right there, and so that's where you want it to be at that level, which would put it, all the gears pretty much.
Seeing anything so far? Any broken teeth, Fred? Any chips or wear? Signs of wear?
No.
I'm not seeing anything so far.
I'm not seeing anything so far. Actually, it kind of looks pretty good. That's reverse gear. Let's bring it forward. Go ahead now. Yeah, see, now we're going reverse. Drag and just wipe down what I could wipe down. Or just, you could use some, I guess you can go ahead and use a chemical to go ahead and just clean it up. There's nothing in here that chemical would affect. I mean, it's just steel gears going back and forth,
Correct. Okay, Fred, what's the final verdict now that we've had a chance to take a few things apart on this overdrive transmission?
I think our shifter linkage up front is, on top is frozen, so we need to free that up. Or get one from a TR6 that has the switch in it for our reverse lights.
Right.
That'll fit on here, no problem. So that's probably the way we're gonna go rather than mess around with one that's all frozen and locked up.
Sure.
The gears are all good. There's a tiny, tiny little flea bite on one of them.
I can see that there. Yep, I see it. You can see it in the video.
It's real small. Whether or not that's gonna affect anything, it doesn't seem to have any effect when you spin it around. It looks like more of an engagement issue at one point.
Sure.
I don't think that if the whole thing was missing.
Kind of one of those, if you can't find them, grind them.
Kind of, sort of. But I think that overall it's good. I mean, they're hard to find, and it seems to be working well. We just need to go ahead and put a shifter mechanism on top to shift it into gears and see how freely it goes.
So the plan for this transmission, original plan was going to be, I'm going to put it in my red car. However, once we start driving Cole's car a little bit more, if we determine that we're having problems with the transmission on Cole's car, we might possibly put it into Cole's car. But we have no reason to believe there's anything wrong with Cole's transmission at all.
At this point, it feels good. The clutch feels good. The trans feels good through the first couple gears, but I'm not down the road yet. So
right.
What we want to do is get it running to the point where we can drive it down the road and then make a determination that, because you could actually get into fourth and have some serious grinding going on. You don't know, but it does. I would not expect that from Cole's transmission.
Yeah. So more than likely, this will probably go in Daddy's car. So maybe a nice summer project for us, Fred.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to keep everybody posted on the overdrive transmission as we clean it up and put a few new parts, bits, and pieces. I'm sure Fred has just about everything we need somewhere in this garage to make this thing work.
I'm sure I do.
Thanks, Fred.
All right.
So we've got some parts here. What do we have here on the bench, Fred?
This is all our connectors for our transmission tunnel.
Okay.
And a couple of longer bolts for the dash support that mounts to the floor.
Okay.
A couple other ones in case we need them. The emergency brake.
Look at this, a beautiful emergency brake. I see you went to town with that thing, all ready to go.
All ready to go.
Well, you just never quit. You are like a bunny rabbit. Good for you. Thank you. So Fred, just a quick update on Cole's car. What have you been doing lately?
Took care of the rear transmission mount and cleaned all the.
I see that. Looks
cleaned all
brand
the
new.
brackets
Look
up,
at that.
Put in new rubber and cleaned all that up. This is our permanent now drive shaft connection with new lock nuts. The shifter's been adjusted, so that's ready to go.
Very nice.
And this is our reverse light switch, which did not have a wiring harness, and this is a spare wiring harness that I contributed to the car. And
Thank you.
This will go up and make a connection here, and then you'll have reverse lights.
Yay. Very important. Got to have a reverse lights.
That'll be good. And then I've tapped out all the connectors for the transmission tunnel.
Yes, so we can start working on that
And
tunnel.
then that tunnel will go
See
on.
The holes here, here, and here, and here.
I've drilled a hole through the tunnel to accept this to go up through and make a connection. And so,
And that'll really tidy things up in here once you do that. You want to tell us a little bit about the part that you just got in for the exhaust?
yeah, I like to put these on. This is a sleeve that I'm going to have my exhaust guy go ahead and he's going to butt the two exhaust pipes together. He's going to make a pipe out of the header and come to about right here on the trans underneath the car. And then the Mon's exhaust system will come forward, and the two of them will put them together with this clamp so that rather than weld it or put a clamp on there that'll compress the pipes, if anything ever needs to be done to the back end, it's been my experience on my blue car with the with this that once this is loosened up, you just grab a hold of the entire exhaust system. Since it's a single system going back, just grab a hold of the whole thing and just pull it right out of the car
Yeah, it's
in one
great.
piece.
It's great.
And then you're able to
Great
work,
idea.
You know, able to work on anything in the differential or anything in the axles or anything underneath the car at that point.
Fantastic idea, because that way, like you said, if you got to do anything back there or you need to get some paint work or whatever you need to
Whatever
do.
you want to do, yeah,
smart.
get rid of it. So.
Well, it's a pleasure, Fred. It was always a pleasure seeing you guys, you and Jody, and we appreciate it so much. Till the next episode.
All right, you're welcome.